Thank you. My name is Lovetta Tugbeh, one of the co-founders of the Coalition for Justice in Liberia. I want to say good morning, Mr. Anthony Sia, and the Focus on Liberia listening audience. First, I want to thank Focus on Liberia leadership team for creating a safe space for everyone to discuss pressing issues about our beloved nation, Liberia. The media institution has been very instrumental in amplifying our cry for justice for Liberians, war victims in Liberia and the diaspora. Liberians in the diaspora and in Liberia have been tirelessly advocating for justice for victims of war, especially those who still bear the physical and emotional scars of the country's past conflicts. The decade of a senseless war left behind trails of destructions and trauma. Many innocent civilians were caught in the crossfire and suffered unimaginable atrocities. However, the victims and their families have never given up on seeking justice for gross human rights violations and crimes against humanity. Despite facing challenges, Liberians in the diasporas and Liberia continue to demand for justice. In 2012, the Coalition for Justice in Liberia was established, and the sole purpose of this organization was to create awareness on the plight of Liberian war victims, create visibility for the victims' voice to be heard, and to demand justice. In addition, we advocated for the implementations of Liberia Truth and Reconciliation Commissioner's report that is not only about persecution, but it included reparations for the victims, rehabilitations for child soldiers who today they call Zoko in our society, protections for human rights and dignity, and putting in mechanism in place to address the root cause of the civil war in Liberia. Since 2012 until present, we remain committed to our cause. We have reached this milestone because every Liberian has played an intricate part to show the world that we value human rights and we are ready to rebuild Liberia with justice as a pillar. We want to express our gratitude to the 55th legislature and the Liberian Senate, the Excellency President Joseph Yima Bwaka, the international community, the United Nations, the US government, civil society organization, international human rights organization, such as the Center for Justice and Accountability, Civitas Maxima, Human Rights Watch, Advocates for Human Rights, and so many international institutions that have stood by the Liberian people in their pursuit for justice. We urge everyone to continue their efforts to ensuring that justice is served for the victims of war in Liberia by bringing perpetrator to justice. Together, we can bring closure and healing to those who have suffered and ensure that such atrocities would never happen again. Liberian people, both in Liberia and the diaspora, must continue to demand justice. Let us stand together with the victims and families and work together and work towards a future where justice and peace prevailed in Liberia and Africa. If you're a Christian, the Bible in the book of Isaiah 1:17 reads, "Seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless and motherless." If you're a Muslim, the Quran reads, chapter 4, "O ye who believe, stand out firmly for justice, as witnesses to Allah, even as against yourself or your parents or your kins, or whatever it be against, rich or poor." We call on the mothers, women, girls to continue to demand for justice for Liberian war victims. I want to say thank you so much. I will yield to my colleagues, Mr. Adama Dempster and Mr. Bernard Goua, and so many others who were not able to be here today, to continue the conversations on why justice is a must for the victims of war in Liberia. I want to say thank you so much again for giving us the opportunity to be part of this conversation.
Thank you, Lovetta, for that touching and moving statement. And I know you delivered this statement on behalf of victims for whom you and your institution and team members advocate. Thank you, and thank you. Any final words before we take leave of you and get to this gentleman for the discussion?
I trust my colleagues will continue the conversations to amplify our message for justice. I will also urge the listening audience to continue to add their voices to ensure justice is served in Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you so very much. And so we will take leave of Lovetta and take a short break. When we come back, we will be having a Q&A on this subject of war and economic crimes court. Have we come the closest now? The gentlemen are here, and we will have a discussion. We will be back momentarily. Stay tuned, and please don't go anywhere.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct